I'm Nicole Neblett, and I'm a quilt designer and teacher, and I love to make minimalist quilts. So people often ask me, like, what is a minimalist quilt? Well, I like to think about it in terms of maximum design impact with minimal design elements. So what could be minimal for me might not be minimal for somebody else, and vice versa. Now, you've probably heard the term minimalism going around. It's a thing where people are trying to live off of just the essentials and cut away all the non-essentials. And that same approach can be applied to making quilts. So I'm going to share with you today a technique that I use to make minimalist quilts. But before I do, let me show you a quilt that I've made. So this is a quilt top that I made using these minimalist design principles. And what you'll notice right away is that there's not that much color. And that's one of the elements of minimalism, is limiting the amount of color that we use. So oftentimes minimalist quilts may just have one color, maybe two or three. And so you can see here, this is actually denim, a dark blue denim, and an off-white. Those are the two main colors. And then I just added a splash of orange because I really like orange. And just keeping it really simple with the color choices. And then you'll also see that I've kept the shapes pretty simple. So this is a traditional quarter circle, and this type of shape is typically used in drunkard's path. And what I did was put it together in terms of different layouts and keeping the composition really simple. And the way that you can do that, the way that I like to do that, is with a negative space. And so using this background fabric to create negative space and lay things out with also this repeating element of the curves there. So that's one quilt that I've done in terms of minimalism and negative space. So now I'm going to show you how I take a traditional design and turn it into a minimalist design. I'm going to head back over here to the table. So I am going to show you this technique with some flying geese. Now, flying geese is a traditional kind of design, and you could do this same technique if you're using squares or if you want to do stars or anything like that. I just chose flying geese because I really like them, and I think there's a lot that you can do with them. But don't feel that you have to be limited to this one particular. So I'm just going to lay it out as you would with a traditional quilt. You'll notice that for some of the flying geese, I switched up the colors for the main triangle and the outer triangles, and that's just for fun. So what you would do in a traditional quilt is just lay out the blocks in a nice grid like this. When I want to take this and make it a little bit minimalist, I want to actually add some negative space. And so what I usually do is I start moving things around. And all of this is very intuitive, what I try to move around. There's no set rules on how you do this, but I just try to add some space to kind of give it more room, give the design a little bit more room. And I've blocked out, you can see that I've blocked out the outside with a painter's tape, and that just gives me a boundary to work with. When I'm working on a larger design, I might work on a wall, and it's kind of nice to be able to just stand back and look at your pieces. So I've moved these around a little bit, and minimalism is all about cutting away the essentials. So I might take a couple of these blocks out, like maybe this one out. And now I have a little bit more space to work with, and I can move these around. And oftentimes when I'm working on a design like this, I'll just set it up on my wall and just leave it there for a couple days, depending on how much time, if I'm up against the quilt deadline. And like I said, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. It's just really what feels right to you. And I often quilt very instinctively what feels right or just doesn't feel off. And I would just continue to do that until I feel satisfied with the design. So let's say, for example, that I am satisfied with this design the way that it is. And I might actually, maybe I'll add that one back in because I want to have maybe some blue in there. But let's say I do something like this. And of course, I don't have days here to ponder it, so I won't take too much time. But I do want to show you what I usually do. So the beautiful thing about working with batting as in a similar background color is that it kind of helps me to visualize what my background, when I add that negative space, is going to look like. But I do want to show you what I would do in terms of adding some background color. How do I go ahead and add that fabric? So what I usually do is I measure I'll think about this in terms of a puzzle and what pieces are missing. So I'll measure out the space here, and I might decide to chunk this up. So I think I'll just do this part here would be really nice and easy to do. So I'll add a 1/4 inch on this side and a 1/4 inch on this side. And I know that I need to cut a piece that's 4 3/4 pieces by, and this is 4.5 by 4.5. So I'm going to keep that in mind, and I'm going to get my fabric and just smooth it out with this smoothing spray. Oops. Because I like to have it nice and smooth and crisp before I cut it. Okay. So we'll go back over here. And I'm going to cut the fabric. I said 4 3/4. Is that what I said? I think that's what I said. By 4.5. Okay, so then I would just pin that together. All right. So I'm just pinning these together, and I like to, just before I, usually before I take those apart, I'll just mark a little pin here so that I know exactly where this piece is supposed to go. Okay, so then I'll know that's like a placeholder. Okay, so I'm just going to sew a regular 1/4 inch seam. And just for the sake of time, I'm just going to finger press that down. And you can see, so you just go ahead and continue on. So I quickly want to show you over here what I've done on a larger scale. And so as you can see, I've applied the same kinds of principles and added in that background fabric in order to create a minimalist quilt. So next time you're deciding how to design a quilt, I hope that you'll take the opportunity to design a quilt with maximum impact but minimal elements.